All right, so we're live.
Hey.
If you notice, no nitro fire up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not really in the mood for that. It's not tech talk today. Today is life talk. The reason Shane and I did this is because there was a lot of questions flying around, emails about, animosity amongst us or people or
Yeah.
whatever. What was going on, right? A lot of people were left in the dark, and Shane and I wanted to kind of clear a lot of this up
Hmm.
because there is no animosity.
No.
There's no hard feelings. There's no nothing like that. I mean, God, if that was all it was, I'd be happy. I'd be like literally jumping
Right.
up and down because I can deal with hard feelings, right?
I
Man,
think we've come closer as friends.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all of the YouTube experience, I kind of find it funny that people would think that it's animosity because between Tony DeFeo and myself, I never had any animosity. It was Tony that had the animosity towards our group, and I kind of just, all right, well, I'll just separate myself from that. But in this instance, Shane and I have both been kind of, like punch in the face
Yeah.
by life, and it wasn't just your normal punch in the face. This is like UFC right cross while holding a roll of quarters. Okay, this
Pretty
is not.
much.
Yeah, this is not something simple. So, and it's irony at its finest that Shane and I both have something going on around the same time. Shane got it first.
Hmm.
Shane got the vid 20 or 2.0 first. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I got a variant of it shortly thereafter. So
Yeah.
I do want to thank you all for showing up for this live stream. It wasn't really planned. It was something that Shane and I were kicking around today, and there was a lot of questions that were coming out about, where we've been, what we've been doing, why, what's happening. I don't understand. So we decided that we're going to throw all the cards on the table. We're going to let you know what's going on,
Hmm.
um, and let you decide for yourself if we're doing the right thing or not. Okay?
Yeah.
So, you want to go first, Shane?
Sure.
Or
I'll go first. So, before anyone says thoughts and prayers to me, I just want to say that to me that's just a can cycle. So please don't say that. But currently, right now, my wife is in the hospital. She has an illness, and it's something that can be fixed. It's just going to take a little while. Possibly going to be home sometime in August. So technically, right now, I'm a single dad, and I do talk to her on a daily basis. But it's just difficult. There's not much time, between, kids going to school, and pretty soon school's going to be out. And that's another reason why some of the YouTube videos dropped off, and I haven't been answering things a lot. You guys may have noticed that back at the beginning of the year, where I was getting behind on emails, is because that's when the illness started, and so I fell way behind, and then I got caught up, and then I started falling behind again. So that's really what's kind of going on with me, and to I don't want to put a lot of out there, but this is she's essentially just got an illness, and she's trying to work on getting it fixed. That's basically what it comes down to. So yeah, that's my end of it, and that's really what I got. I mean, did I miss anything, Dallas? Oh no,
no, I
we've
just
we
your plate's full, man. I mean,
yeah, my
so
plate's full.
for those of you that don't know Professor P very well, Professor P has 3 kids.
Yeah,
He's a 13-year-old and then twins
set of
that are
twins,
7s. That
eight,
eight,
eight
eight now.
boy
Okay.
and a girl twin that are 8 years old. So it's a full plate. Plus we have the house, and then it's got a half an acre, which I'm not used to from being in California, which means that you have grass and you got to cut it. You got to there's a lot of maintenance around a house.
Well,
So.
when you're down your partner in
Hmm.
crime, everything the partner would have done goes on you. Plus, you have all of the stuff that would normally be on you, plus
Hmm.
the stuff that you pick up along the way that people don't realize that is getting done, right?
Yeah.
The dad, I needed the talks thing. I got a hangnail thing. My toothbrush is not working. That all those things still happen.
Dad, I
Right.
got a new boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things.
But me, on the other hand, mine has been a little bit. It's similar to Shane. That's why we've been kind of leaning on each other. And I had said, if you saw the Facebook post where I said the AHRA effective immediately, I'm going to take a 1-year hiatus. That was primarily because of what was going on in my life. On April the 17th, my daughter was bullied in school, which is not a big deal. I mean, bullies are everywhere. I hate bullies. Bullies are here on YouTube. I'm sure there's going to be some asshole that chimes in here and talks about how much of a whining pussy I am or something, right? I don't really care.
Yeah.
Let's just hope we don't meet up. But they bullied my daughter to the point where she had like a panic attack or anxiety attack at school. And they brought in a social worker. And the social worker deemed that my daughter needed to go to mental health care for a 72-hour cool down period. During that period, when I loaded her up and took her over there, she was contemplating suicide. And during the intake process over there, they found out that she had been sexually assaulted when she was 5, which I did not know. So, besides that, on the way home, already feeling like this is the worst possible day there ever was, my wife asked me for a divorce because this is too much for her. And I'm gone a lot with the AHRA. I put my family on hold because I know how to do that. In the Navy, that's what I did for a long time. It's not that they're asking you to go. And they're not invitations. They're called orders, and you go. And that's how I treated the AHRA. I would just go on the weekends, and I would come home when I got home. And but with my family in crisis like this, I did not feel it was necessary for me to hit the road. There's only one thing in life you cannot replace, and that is your family.
Agreed.
I can lose everything I have in the AHRA, and as long as I stood by my family in their time of need, I would have no regrets. 0 regrets. I'm sorry if your membership didn't get used. I'm sorry that you didn't have an opportunity to buy a t-shirt. But my family comes first. And my little girl is at the top of that list.
It's
This
all
is
right.
very hard for me. But I just wanted everyone to know it wasn't anything personal. It wasn't anything that it was against anyone on here, anyone on YouTube, people that may not like me. DRC. It's not about you, buddy. I can care less about you. But that's where we stand today. I don't know what I'm going to do. I figured we'll let the cards unfold themselves, and then we'll just play it as we can, right? So I haven't done a video in a while. I really haven't felt up to it. My problem started way back in October, really. If you guys remember the No Name Nationals last year, John Wilbur and I were there about 5 days prior, and every day at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, you can ask John, I would have to stop what I was doing, and I would go drink tea and eat cookies. I'd eat these little small cookies, and it would help me stabilize my blood sugar, because what was happening is my blood sugar was swinging from 240 to 40 every day. And those times were in between meals would allow you to regulate your blood sugar by either adding in sugar or taking some away if necessary, right? Which taking away is not so easy. But the VA felt it was necessary to put me on different meds because they put me in a high risk for heart attack and stroke. So they put me on this med that's a new diabetes wonder drug called Jardiance. And Jardiance, I can honestly say here on YouTube, has ruined my life. Okay? Um, the number one side effect of this medicine that I did not learn until 4 months in is depression and suicidal ideation, right? And you're chemically inducing it. It's not like you got a black cloud over your head and you just change a couple things in your lifestyle and it goes away. This is a black cloud in your head that you put in there every morning when you wake up to take your pill to regulate your blood sugar so you don't die. Okay? So between October and March, I literally wanted to shoot myself every day. Okay? And I hate to say that. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative, but that's what was going on in my head, and I could not figure it out. And I was taking it out on everyone around me. And so that's what was happening with me. If you go back and look at my videos from Mr. Rotter's neighborhood, I start to kind of go off the rails around March. But luckily, about March is when I figured out what was going on. So I called the VA pharmacist and I told them what was happening. They said, stop taking it immediately. We'll send you a new one. Well, they sent me a new one, and the new one was actually worse. Made me pretty much just a mess, an emotional mess. And I don't normally sleep past like 7:30 in the morning. I can't. And I just woke up the first day at like 9 o'clock crying, and I couldn't figure out what's happening. So I ended up just taking it upon myself and figure out, okay, the medicine that I had previously worked, but let's start off at like 1 milligram instead of 25, and then we'll just keep adding more dosage until it starts to regulate my blood sugar. So I bought hundreds of finger strips, and then I charted it all out on a chart, and I found that at 4 milligrams, my body was, or the medicine would start regulating my blood sugar, and everything got better. So I thought. And then I get whacked with this craziness. So that's where I'm at today. I'm not in a good place, but I'm still here, man. And it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, right? So
yeah, and still keep on going.
Yeah,
you know. And I'm not reading. I don't have any of the comments up or anything like that, but. I turned them off just in case, but
yeah, there's a lot of people chiming in here.
Okay.
There's
good.
let's see here. Okay,
I'll turn them on then. I just in case but
okay. So Andy's saying that we're here for y'all. Jason's, we're here for you fellas.
Thanks.
Johnny C, that's too much. All this stuff is meaningless. Take care, both of you.
Yeah. And we both agreed that family comes first on this. That was our first agreement a couple weeks ago. Let's just take a little break and focus on ourselves and just take a slight little break. And we figured it was just due to come out and talk to you guys about today.
Yeah, Jonathan Bethea, he was one of my sailors on my last ship, and I've known this guy. We were on 2 ships together.
That's awesome.
And he was a very junior sailor on the first ship, and then a little bit more senior, but still junior sailor on the second ship. But I've known him for a long time. But I've been leaning on him pretty hard too. I love you, brother. Jonathan Couchy says prayer works. I haven't got to the prayer part yet because I'm still working on the other stuff, trying to get little things juggled around to where. I'm going to sell the Suburban. I got a 455 project that was supposed to be my Electra 22.5 hour swap into an Electra 22.5 or a 22 Electra deuce and a quarter, 225. And the guy bailed on me in March. So I mean, it's a lot of these little things have just been adding up for a while. But Jonathan Couchy says, I understand what a daily struggle it would be. There were days, still are, still will be, where my leg is so swollen I can't even wear my prosthetic, not because of diabetes.
Wow.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
James and James says, praying for you, Dallas. And thanks a lot. I do appreciate it. Me and Shane have been leaning on each other pretty hard.
Daily.
Yeah. Shane calls me first thing in the morning to make sure I didn't off myself. And the VA calls me first thing in the morning because they put me on a watch list immediately. And I actually kind of jokingly said that they put me on a watch list because they want to stop my Navy retirement pay as soon as possible. And so Val says, Val 360 Jimmy says, breaks my heart to hear this, guys. Hopefully things will turn around at some point. Peace and love from Australia. Man, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry that I didn't want to let anyone down, and I definitely didn't want to. I definitely didn't want to take a hiatus. I do love doing this, and I do love seeing the people that it affects, and the racers that you bring together, and the groups that you create.
Yeah. I like going on to the other lives that our viewers have, and just see their projects. You see the chat here, and then we kind of help them out. And then I go to their live, and I get to see what they've done, and they're using what we're talking about, which is really cool. I think that's awesome, and that's worth it to me because like we said before, we don't get paid for this. We're just doing this for a community thing. This is fun for us.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of it. I don't know what's going to happen with any of my stuff, so if you need Buick stuff, give me a call. I got a reasonable price on just about anything. I don't know what's going to happen in the near future, but I could tell you right now, hauling all that crap out of my garage is not something I'm looking forward to. So if you need something, just give me a call. I likely got it. Big Block 42 says, praying for you, Dallas Brothers in Arms. Yeah. Man, I am going to see you guys at No Name Nationals. That's the only one that I kept on the schedule was the No Name Nationals.
And nothing's going to get taken away on that. If Dallas is indisposed of, I'm going to help John make sure that it goes off without a hitch, and so it's going to be fine. Nothing's going to happen with No Name Nationals.
Yeah, Mopar Man 1978 says it's good to open up and talk. It destroys stress. Yeah, I found that, to tell you the truth, I've always, because being in the Navy, I had to work out every day, usually, if I wanted to stay in shape. And when all this stuff started happening, like I had, even right now, I haven't slept in, I think, 3 days, 3 days. I've lost 22 pounds, if you haven't noticed. I walk or hike 5 miles a day now, and that allows me the opportunity to clear my head. I live in the middle of nowhere, and when you go walking around in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing to distract you. You can see the important things in life at that point. But there's been a lot of walks, and there's a lot of wild animals running around right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I started running to the gym, and I almost got run over by someone just randomly one day. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to stop running to the gym right now because I'm the only one watching the kids right this second.
Yeah. So All For Us No Rudder says, you're both smart, you're both wise, you're both honorable, you will both prevail.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, that means a lot. Andy's saying, oh, well, so Clint Street Machines, he's got the hood for my 63 Buick, which I have no idea what's happening with my 63 Buick, to be honest with you. Right now, my priority is not any single one of those projects or cars. Whenever we finish it, buddy, we finish it. If you want to put it outside, and put it outside. I don't know, or I put it on the back burner, I guess. I mean, don't put it outside; it'll rust to death. But yeah. Andy says he can help with the No Name Nationals. If you want to help with the No Name Nationals, that's fine. I'm sure John Wilburn and Shane would be more than happy to give you something to do. I don't know how bad Shane is going to be when it comes around to No Name Nationals. His wife should be home by then.
Should be.
Me, I don't know what's going to happen with me. I plan on being there. I don't know how well I'm going to be there, though. Right? And I seriously doubt. I know for a fact I could not do what I did at last year's No Name Nationals at this year's. I don't have enough stamina. I don't have enough focus right now, and I would probably fall down dead, to tell you the truth. John and I worked ourselves pretty hard at that event, and just to make sure that you guys had something good. I'll just be happy if we can show up and I got the trophies and I didn't freaking drop the ball on something stupid.
Yeah.
Patrick from Mostly Old Parts and Rust. Dallas and Shane, if you guys ever need an ear to bend, call me. And that goes for anyone on this chat. You are my brothers and sisters. We have to take care of each other.
And that's the main reason why we did this, is that we wanted to just we felt that you guys would understand. And that's the reason why we're talking about this, because, we all make jokes and we do tech talk and whatnot, but we all have one thing in common, and that's we have this thing that we like as far as cars, but it brought us together, and we're just trying to build a family here, like as far as a really tight-knit group. So we figured that we would just kind of let you guys know exactly what's going on with us. So that way you heard it from us, not from anyone else.
Colin, you don't have to call in the cavalry yet about storing my stuff. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. I really don't. I know generally when you go through a divorce, you end up pretty much dividing everything in half. And most of the stuff I got would be considered junk in just about everybody else's book. And so it really, monetary value, I don't have a lot of monetary value in most of that stuff, and you can probably just look at the whole garage and write it off for maybe $5,000. I don't know. The magic for the stuff that I put together in the garage is not the parts. The magic is me making them the way I want them.
Making it work.
Yeah. And so that's one thing, no matter what, that you can't cut that shit in half. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know. And I'll tell you where I'm at. I mean, I'm not mad at my wife at all. I love my wife. I still love my wife pretty much like the day that I met her. She's the one that wants to do this, and I don't want anything to do with it. I feel that we can work it out. But,
even in my situation, it's what I'm at fault for is communication. We've talked about this quite a bit. Is that sometimes I don't understand what she's talking about, and I don't communicate well because I don't listen to exactly what she's saying. So there's one takeaway about this, is that with anyone that you're dating, or whoever it is that you're dating, is you got to have really good communication skills. So that's the only way you're going to survive for real, because it gets difficult, especially when you're career, and then you're out in the garage and you're doing these YouTube things, and you are kind of stretched kind of thin, but I always make sure there's time for everything. But sometimes the communication is lacking. Just make sure you got to stay up on your communication skills.
Yeah, that's one thing I do want to say, that if you're married and you're going through a rough patch, and your spouse or your significant other or whatever says something that you don't quite follow or understand, ask questions.
Exactly.
Don't get mad. Just ask questions, because those questions will probably lead to a bigger problem, and then you'll have a very good scope and understanding of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this can help you, because I feel it's probably too late for me, but if I would have just listened and understood a little bit better of what was happening and how dire straits that this situation was, probably wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. And my wife is where she's at right now because of just communication in general. There was just a lack of. I just naturally thought everything was okay. I didn't know.
Dr. Art wants to storm a T-bird, huh? Do you have a new? If I stored at your house, would you have a new entry at the No Name Nationals?
Your answer is supposed to say yes, because I want to see that thing go down the track again. So yes, Dr. Art, you're supposed to say yes.
Yeah.
There will be another entry.
I have a tunnel ram for that.
Speaking of which, can I show? I'm going to show this something. Something came in today for the Cookie Monster. You guys ready for this? Oh, yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
Induction Solutions. It's my nitrous plate. How much is it going to be? I don't know. Don't know.
I like to call that fake atmosphere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's right. Extra oxygen.
Yeah. But, Rapid Transit Garage is saying if we need help with anything, is more than willing to help. I mean that, truly. I mean it. This is a great community around, without question. And you know what? You guys are a good community, and that's why we did
this.
Right. I mean, here I am on YouTube bearing my soul and the burdens that I have to carry. And knowing that there's 10,000 trolls that are going to light me up about how much I'm a douchebag, or told you AHRA was going to fail, or the AHRA wasn't going to fail. I was actually on a pretty good toll this year until I got tripped up with life.
Yeah.
And so
that's how I feel too. It's like, it's like I'm just going to come out here because I just don't care. I mean, this is life. This is real life. This what you're looking at happening to both of us is real life. It can happen to any one of us. It probably has happened to you guys. We just figured that we wanted you guys to see exactly what's going on. And if someone trolls us later on, I really don't care. Really.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care either. Mm-hmm. That's why this year, at No Name Nationals, we'll have troll seating back again. They want to show up, no problem. But just remember, if you don't know what Navy Smokers is, you might want to go look that up before you show your troll face up in there. Right? Look and see what Navy Smokers is.
That's
all right.
I might make a trophy for the biggest troll that shows up. How about that? I got a whole bunch of rods and stuff out there all weld together.
You know what I think we should do as a community, which
What's
would be badass? Ken Hutchinson is the guy that should be doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what we need to do is go find a bunch of old Uncle Brian videos and take the audio out of them and then chop the audio back together to have him sing the Star Spangled Banner, right? I think that would be badass.
That's good. Right.
Yeah, and we play that, like, oh, I say, can you? And it may sound like he's having a stroke, but it would be freaking great.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, Tom, I know, man, and it seems like every time I open my mouth, I seem to make this thing worse. And I don't know if it's just too soon. Should I just wait and let it settle? I don't know. Yes, I agree with you 100%. And that's where I said things that hurt her and cut her like a knife the day she asked for it, because I didn't really understand the gravity of it. And I said, you're going to wait till right now to quit on me and give up? And man, though, do not say that. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now from this is, you might say, oh, that's stupid. Why would you say? But I have no experience in this. Right? And I'm getting heat of the moment. I've been awake for a whole day at that point, and my life had just been sliding off the rails, and here I am trying to just keep my shit together. So, yeah. And Shane's having to deal with it too, and I don't know how we're going to come out. I don't know what's going to end up being at the end. Like I told Shane today, I don't know if I'm going to do AHRA next year. It looks like we lost Shane anyway. But I don't know if I'm going to do AHRA next year. I don't know. I feel like I've lost my heart. So, depending on how everything works out. So, and Jason's Garage is saying that Ken could do that for sure. I think it would be awesome. I think we should get him to do the national anthem and have it just made up of Uncle Brian chopped together words, right? I think it'd be great. Yeah, Jupiter Mustang Mike. Says, I've been divorced 2 times and both I did not want, and you survive. I know, man. I'm sure. It's just I was surprised by the whole thing, to be honest with you. Really. I do want to save this thing, but I think it's too soon because every time I open my mouth, I make it worse. Man, I'm surprised. Professor P must be down completely. Let's see. Big Block 402. I've almost been to that point before. We were able to figure out how to make it work. It wasn't always easy, but after 30 years, it's much better now. I'm at 20. To tell you the truth, I don't know if I ever do this, if I'll ever want to do any of this again, because it hurts so damn bad. And oh, there he is, and he might be out again.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, all right. So it took a while for you to get back in there. What happened, man? You just drop the web services?
No, thunderstorms. We have thunderstorms coming through.
Oh, well, that means I probably got some at 4 a.m. then.
Yeah. So sorry about that, guys. What did I miss?
Nothing. I kind of just rambled on about how, the people were. I was pulling up some of the comments here, and I just rambled on about how. I don't know. I can't even think. I don't have any focus at the moment. Oh, I was telling him that I didn't know if I was going to do AHRA next year because I didn't know if I was going to have the heart for it after all this. Let's see. Auto Salvage Outlaw says both of you and her need to find positive ground and work from that. That's if you and her are on the same page. We're not even close to the same page at the moment. I can't talk to her without it becoming very volatile. And I don't want to put my wife's business on the air. I don't want to say about how she feels about anything. I'm just letting you know where I stand.
Me too.
But don't think I haven't tried. I've tried to the point that it's making things worse. Matter of fact, last night about this time, I damn near pretty much ruined myself for sleeping, and I was texting Polito at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I thought I was going to have to go to the VA hospital to check in because I couldn't get my anxiety to go away, and I couldn't breathe. And nighttime is the worst because you end up feeling alone. And when you feel truly alone, is the worst feeling in the world. When you're in this big giant world and you feel alone.
I call it the desert island. I've said that to you a few times. That's how I felt a lot of times. I was on this desert island in the middle of the ocean, just completely alone,
Yeah. Jonathan Couchy says, I got a call from my brother at 11 o'clock last night. Almost made me jump. Turns out he just ran out of gas a few towns over and needed someone to bring a gas can. Lucky him. I'll take out a gas any day of the week. So Twisted Mopar Garage says, keep your eye on the prize. Trials and tribulations are what strengthens us, makes us stronger. Easy to stand on a mountain. It's the walks through the valley that we gain strength to climb the mountain. That's, God, brother, you're right on.
That's pretty deep, man. That's right. Yeah. Yep. So. I was just about to say something before my things went out, but there was someone who posted that, there's a better or worse, in the vows. Well, that's the main reason why I'm staying and working things out is because I've been with my wife for 23 years now. It'll be 24 this August. So I'm definitely staying around and I'm trying to do everything I can to help stick with her, and help her through this illness. So don't say it's not tough. It's very tough,
So Auto Salvage Outlaw is saying send her some flowers and work towards going to coffee if you wanted to work out. We're here for both of you. I will try to. I will continue doing the olive branch to the point to where she either throws me out or has me removed by the police. I cannot let this go by the wayside. It's 20 years of my life,
Yeah.
and I still love her. So, Jupiter Mustang Mike says, "You're not alone. Your dad is watching over you. Do I know you?" For those of you that don't know, my dad died in 2017 abruptly, like very abruptly. Like no illness, had an aneurysm in his lung, and died in 20 minutes. That was when Shane and I were racing out in California, and that's what ended my racing in California. That's actually what ended my Navy career. So, let's see, New Guy's Garage, the Troll Slayer. Elliot, here he is. So, oh well, Stephen Mark sent me some new Big Block 402 stickers out to me. Oh, I'll put them on the AHRA truck, which I do have I do have it running fantastic now, and I didn't have to put the carburetor on it, and now I have that carburetor just sitting in my garage, amongst all the other stuff that's probably going to sit there for next year.
You didn't put the carburetor on it? It actually is working good with
I got the EFI figured out. Yeah, well, I've been playing with it, and it just kept getting better and better and better and better.
What was it? What was the magic?
You won't believe it.
Okay. Throw it.
Okay, you know what tip-in is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you get the tip-in and the TPS out of alignment, right, the thing will always have a problem. You have to find the correct tip-in angle and to get the TPS in alignment with that for it to be ideal. And that's what the problem was. The TPS failed on it like 2 or 3 years ago. I put a new TPS on. It just has 2 holes. You just put some screws in and knock her down, right? I mean, what do? Tighten it up and put it on. But no, the old Fords, you gotta actually. They used to drill those things out to where you could twist them and dial them into what you wanted, and that's what I ended up having to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's.
Dude, I tell you what. A Cove, don't lose hope. Most valuable thing you can harbor. I'm not gonna lie, man. At first, I did lose all hope, and then when I got those 3 things, happened, with my daughter, and then my wife went into divorce, and then the sexual assault stuff all happened the same day. I found out about it the same day, and it was very overwhelming. And I went to the next morning. I started having problems where I couldn't. We had big thunderstorms roll through here in the middle of the night, and I couldn't sleep, and it ended up affecting me really bad. I was having anxiety attack, and I went to the VA hospital, and my blood sugar was over 300, and I hadn't eaten anything, and my blood pressure was 282 over 80, and they were freaking out, and they sedated me. They brought this person in to see me, but what concerned them was I had 3 major things. Like in a person's life, there's 5 major things that can happen in someone's life that would make them more categorized for self-harm or wanting to end their own life, right? So it's like the loss of a spouse, or / divorce, right? The failure of a small business, the loss of a child. And I had 3 of the 5 at one time. And the social worker looked at me and just started crying, man. And I'm like, holy crap. And they told me, yeah, you're 94% probability of suicide in the next 18 months. And I said, I looked right at him and I said, well, hate to tell you this, but my whole purpose in life is to beat statistics. So we'll see what that number really means. And to bother me, all right, so Auto Salvage Outlaws says, Dallas, there's a book called Love Dare. Pick up a copy and read it. Go step by step. You will see it works. Huh. I'm going to write that down. It's a lot cheaper than these other things that I've seen. There's places like I've been turned on to immediately when I started having all these issues. Oh, man, how the emails come out of nowhere. I guess it's the AI working at freaking Google, cramming this stuff down my throat. But it's like $4,000 a class, and it's like, geez, dude, $4,000 a class?
Right? You heard that right? 4,000? Wow.
Man, you guys could mark it up a bit more. Yeah, you're gonna save my marriage, and it's only $4,000 a class.
That's it? Wow. Sign me up for all of them.
I mean, what would you pay to save your marriage? That's a pretty good price. But no. These people are preying on bad situations.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see. Mohawk 62. The brightest light casts the darkest shadows, but between you guys and this community, the shadows don't have a chance. Hey, you know what? Thanks. That actually means a lot. You guys have been very supportive. I didn't know what to expect, and Shane had to actually talk to me for a while to talk me into doing this. And I felt it was right to do it, but I just didn't know what was going to happen, if I was going to be belittled or...
No one would do that to you, man. I told you this is going to be just fine. And here's the thing is that I've been going through this since January, and I've never let it shown. And Dallas knew what was kind of going on with me, but it always helped me out coming on here and just talking cars. It just took my mind off of things. So I knew that it would help him. I just knew it. So that's why I talked him into it.
No, and so Auto Salvage Outlaws, that's a statistic. Okay, so October through March, I felt like I was going to off myself because of the meds, the Jardiance meds that I was taking for my diabetes. It just depressed the hell out of me. And this one, I didn't know what to, I didn't think about off myself at all. I've thought about just, actually I haven't thought about much of anything except for, I want this to end. But I took the steps, the precautions that I needed to make sure that wasn't going to be the case. I didn't know how rough this ride was going to be, so I prepared for the worst. But I don't know what's in store. But I don't feel like off myself at all, really. I don't feel like hurting myself. Here's the thing, okay? I have 2 children, and if you kill yourself, right, that is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And what happens is, all you did is pass all your pain and suffering on to the people that are left behind that love you. And I could never do that to my children.
Yep.
My mom doesn't really care much for me anymore, but I could still not do that to my mother. So it's something that I've always been proud of. I have the right perspective on all that. Because if you remember, see, I'm a Gen Xer, just like Shane. He and I are Gen Xers, right? Mm-hmm. So those of you that aren't Gen X, like say you're younger or you're a little bit older, or Gen X was kind of blessed and cursed at the same time, right?
Exact same time.
We virtually got to do whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. And it was like money was no object, because you didn't have any money. You would just steal it. You would break in to do whatever you wanted, or it was like you didn't care, right?
We're feral. Absolutely feral kids.
But when it came to being cursed, was our generation had a resurgence of music that probably hadn't been seen since like the late 70s, right? When grunge came back around. It was a whole, well, it not came back around. It was its first iteration, grunge, but it was a new music style that was very like, I don't know, music from the early to middle 70s that was psychedelic. I don't know. And that's, but it was very depressing. And our generation offed ourselves like no other. That's Gen X. There's one record you do hold, and that's how many face plants people were taking off of buildings. Grunge music, okay? And when this whole divorce conversation came up, and my daughter was having to stay at home, under care, she was getting into music, and that's what she was doing right before, her all this stuff happened. Was she's getting into music. I got her a record / MP3 / tape deck / it plays any music format, so Bluetooth, all of it, right? I thought that was pretty cool. And so we were going through some old records, and then she was like, "What's this?" I said, "It's a CD player." "Oh, I've never seen CD." And I'm like, "I got some, hold on." So I go down to the basement, get my CDs out, and it's like, "Here, listen to this great CD." This is Alice in Chains Unplugged on MTV, right? MTV Unplugged. Threw that CD in, and this is literally like just a couple of days after this whole divorce mess started, and dude, I fell apart. We were a minute and 53 seconds in that song, and I had to take the CD out, and I couldn't make it. It was just tearing me up so bad, and that was the Unplugged, MTV Live version. So I just couldn't imagine the studio album of Sap or Jar of Flies or something. Like, God, I'd fall apart. Yeah. Okay. Colleen Tebow says, if I enjoy nature, search peaceful cattail, swamp frogs, I listen to it to sleep. Shane had something like that too. When we were sleeping when we were all cramped packed into the one hotel room up at PRI. Yep. What'd you have? You had rain or?
Yeah, it's a noise
static?
maker, but it's like a rain static mix, but it's like it's a white noise. And Dallas was like, "I'm never going to sleep with that thing." I said, "Just close your eyes. I'm going to turn it on." And then he wakes up the next day. That was the best sleep of my life.
Yeah, that it was. I slept good with it on there.
Yeah.
So New Guy's Garage says, my divorce was the hardest thing I've ever gone through. Not because of losing the wife for me, but losing half of my daughter's life. And see, you know what? That's one of the things that weighs on me too.
Yep.
Is that, when I tell her all the time, like, "Hey, you guys are leaving me," and we're not leaving you. Still got the kids. Well, no, I don't have the kids because I will miss probably more than half of their life by now. So. Yes, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Absolutely.
Jupiter Mustang Mike says that we're very strong to discuss this stuff. Well, I don't know how strong I am, but I'll tell you what I do know. Just not a lot. I wouldn't say strong. I got some good friends and some good mentors in this process. Shane is one of them. I got a guy named Michael Johnson. If you're out there contemplating going through divorce, or you're going through a divorce and you're a man, my buddy Brian LaPlante, who's a Buick guy here in Murfreesboro area, he turned me onto this thing. This guy Michael Johnson, who is a male divorce coach. I didn't know there was a such thing. And this guy just does this out of the goodness of his heart and teaches guys what they should do, what they shouldn't do, how this should work, how that should work. Don't settle for, half. Go after, if you feel that you earn more, go after more, right? And he's just a divorce coach. He's been through this already. He's done 20 divorces. He just guides you through it to help you fit you, right? And seek one of these guys out. If you can find a divorce coach, seek one of these guys out, because I'm tired of hearing the stories about the guys getting taken to the cleaners that they never get to see their kids. They pay their entire paycheck to never even get a phone call with the kids. It's time we stop letting people hold our kids hostage, because we're just as important in their life as anyone else.
If not more important. Statistically, kids do better when they're with a single dad than they are with a single mother. That's a statistic, 100%.
Yeah. So that's me in a nutshell, man. I have some really good friends, some mentors. Like I said, Shane is there for me. We're texting and calling back and forth, and I have yet to take a shower where I don't cry in the shower. I'm a mess. So PRI, Bob Evans was fun with you guys. Two Hacks Jeff, man.
All the White Claws gone.
Yeah, we had a good time up there. I like doing stuff with all you guys. You all seem to have a lot of fun with whatever we do. I mean, we could literally have a booger flicking contest, and it would turn out to be the best thing I've done that day.
Dude, we went to Bob Evans every single night of that whole time there, and it was like coming home to a happy place. All the waitresses knew us by that point, and it was fun. That was fun. That's going to be our new place. We're going to go to that hotel, BRI, and we'll go to Bob Evans. That'll be our thing.
Yeah, well, that's funny, because it's like the PRI, the anti-PRI hotel list. It wasn't even on the list as a hotel in the area.
No.
And it's not far.
No, and it was nice. It was okay. It was right where I wanted to be. It was restaurant right there, parking right here. Good.
Yeah, well, how'd you like when we went there to park, like parking at that park that nobody knows about? That's
good.
pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, that was good.
All right, so I don't really have much else I want to say here. You have anything else you want to say, Shane? We had kind of set this thing up for an hour. We didn't know what it was going to take, and
yeah. No, I just if basically what it comes down to is that if any one of you guys is going through anything, don't be afraid to ask for help. Any one of us will help, and I know we're just car people, to most of us, but we are all in a community, tight-knit community, and you guys come in. I mean, I haven't seen that, but I've turned the chats back on, but there's a lot going through, so I'm assuming there's a lot of people in here, and we haven't even been on for 2 weeks, so I appreciate all that. Thank you. But if anyone's going through anything, you can pretty much ask any one of us. Any one of us would help you out, and that's basically what we're trying to do here. Is that just it's a self-awareness type of deal, that family first, and we're all friends.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw the experiences that I'm having with this thing, because like I said, I didn't have any experience with a divorce or anything like this. I'm just throwing it out there for you guys to learn from. Hopefully it helps somebody out. Hopefully you understand my situation. I'm not looking for empathy. I'll take a shoulder to cry on. I'll take a deck lid to hang my head. But yeah. I don't need empathy. I don't need pity.
Just to bend, just to listen. That's all it is. And that's when I text him. I just text him. I'm like, I'm awake, man. If you need to talk, I'm here to listen.
Yeah. So until next time, Shane and I aren't going to have anything regularly scheduled for a little while till all the dust settles from this thing and we figure out how it's going to all work out and what's going to happen with what. That's to be expected. We might throw a couple things in there here and there when we feel up to it, but I don't know. So I'm not trying to leave you guys hanging. I'm just letting you know that there's other things that are priority.
Yes.
And if I have time to do something for you, like my little girl got out of, the reason why it's 8 to 9 was my little girl gets out of intensive outpatient therapy at 7 o'clock. She has to go 3 times a week for 3 hours a day. So I take her to all those. That was one of the reasons why I wiped the slate clean with the AHRA. I didn't want to travel if she had to go to all these events. So Uh, yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to fill in the Wednesday night tech talk for now, throw another show in there. Just don't steal our name, and we'll be back when we get our shit together. So, but other than that, I think it's been about an hour. You good with that, Shane?
Yeah, I'm good. Is it anybody else got any other questions or anything? And not tech, but about this life thing that we're going through. If they have any other questions, just because I get bombarded with emails, and I'm pretty sure we covered everything here. So I think I'm good.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming by and chatting with us, and then understanding our plight. And pats on the back and the words of encouragement are always helpful. So thank you for those that sent that stuff.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity, get your stuff ready for No Name Nationals, because we're going to have the one event. We're going to have that family get together and a drag race broke out, okay? And I know that I doubt my wife and my brother-in-law will be there cooking up meat candy, so Ron Ward is probably out. He'll be unhappy that there's no more meat candy, but sorry, Ron. I mean, I did my best, buddy. So until the next one, I guess we'll see you guys later.
I got one more thing real quick. This is just closing thoughts. Is that, for me, I think that I'm just going to reiterate one thing real quick. Communication is imperative. I think that I wouldn't be in my situation nearly as far as we are if I would have listened and communicated better on my end. And it's not a one way street. It takes you're married, so it takes 100% and 100% in marriage. And there was just parts that I was lacking, and so I'm guilty of that. That's my problem, but I didn't see it. So I guess what I'm saying is that you definitely need to communicate with your spouse, 100%. Just always keep the communication, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much time it takes. Just communicate. That's all I got to say. That's the last thing I say about it.
I do have one thing to say. Okay.
Sure.
When you guys see us up here, I know it's kind of hard to relate. The one thing I noticed is it's like people kind of, especially the people that are older, relate us to like TV personalities that they see. Oh yeah, you guys are on TV. Well, no, we're just like you. So right here, you're seeing real world problems. If I was Brad Pitt, I would be up here putting on a false persona with a whole bunch of lines written for me by somebody way smarter than I, to tell you something, right? But right now we're just up here. This is real world, real people. Mm-hmm. So that's that I appreciate you guys coming around and hugging with us. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, you guys take it easy. Thanks for coming by. We'll just keep you guys posted on what's going on. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
See you
later, guys.